everyone, welcome back to a new video. And today's video is the 22 books that I want to read in 2022. Now I know you're probably thinking, Melissa, that's not 22 books that you're holding up. I know it's not. These are just the ones that I actually own and are on my bookshelves. So we're just going to get into it. We're going to start with these and then I'll move on to other books that I want to read. So first we're going to start with When Strangers Marry by Lisa Claipis. I have this gorgeous step back edition. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about any of the books that I have on my TBR. I just have been working my way through Lisa Claipis' backlist, and this is one that I really want to read. So that's the first one. Then we have A Duchess a Day by Karis Michaels. I know that this is a Snow White retelling, and I'm really excited. One of my friends on Instagram, King Arthur of Catsonville, his owner, Megan, she really loved this book, so I'm excited to get to this. Then we have Wicked in the Wallflower by Sarah Mclean. Again, have the gorgeous step back. I know that a lot of people say the second book in this series is like the best book, so I'm excited, but I like to read series in order, so we're going to start with this. Oh, and I will say that these are all first books in the series, are not continuing series, and they are all there's only one book by each author, so there may be a ton of books that I want to read by an author, but we're just starting with these. Then we have Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. I have heard amazing things about this one. I know that the heroine is deaf and her family thinks she's daft, but she's really just deaf and she can read lips, but I've heard nothing but great things. I know that Jen from the Book Refuge absolutely loves this book. So it was a 6-star read for her last year, so I'm really excited to get to this. Then we have A Night to Surrender by Tessadair. Tessadair is another author that I just want to read through her backlist. I've been loving her books. And again, step back. Love me a good step back. So those are all historicals. I have a lot that I want to read. And then these are moving past historicals. Then I have Tequila Kingdom by Alexandra Cristo. I know that this is a Little Mermaid retelling. My mom really loved this. I was supposed to read it back in September, and I just never got around to it. I ended up going through a pretty big slump, and all I wanted to read was romance. So fantasy wasn't really in that. But now I'm starting to get more into fantasy again, and I want to read. I know that this is a young adult fantasy romance, so definitely want to read this. And then we have A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. My cousin, his wife, this is her favorite book of all time. And we talk about books all the time. And so she's been badgering me to read this, but it is quite a chunky boy. So we'll see. But I have heard nothing but good things. And I know that the 3rd season of the show is coming out, and that should be the end of it because there was 3 books, so we shall see, but I'm excited to get to this one. And then we have, I'm trying to branch out from just reading romance. Not that that's a problem. Romance is amazing, and it will always be probably my most read genre, but I do enjoy reading other genres, and so I, on a whim, picked this up at Barnes & Noble because it's just gorgeous. It's just a beautiful, beautiful book. So yeah, Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff is one that I want to get to this year. Then we have another one that's out of my comfort zone, The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. I, again, just thought that this book was really pretty, and I love the cover. I love that it's very, minimalist, but still really pretty, so that is another one that I want to get to this year. Then, moving on to the books that I don't own, I will pop up a little picture here. We have Lessons in Corruption by Jana Darling. I am going to be honest, this one really scares me because I don't love student-teacher romances, and I know that that's what that one is, but I have heard that the second one in the series is just phenomenal. I've heard that they're all really good, so I do want to read all of them, but I, again, like to read books in order, and I want to really read the second one, so I have to read the first one first. Then we have There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. Sophie Lark, I read her entire Brutal Birthright series last year, and it is just amazing. I love her writing. She is an amazing author, so I want to read her There Are No Saints and There Is No Devil duet, but starting with There Are No Saints. And then Bound by Honor by Cora Riley. I know a lot of people really love her first Mafia series. I read Sweet Temptation by her last year, and I really loved that. I love me a good age gap, and that one was. So excited to start with like her first, or move into her first series, which was Bound by Honor. And then we have The Storyteller by Dave Grohl. I love Dave Grohl. Foo Fighters are an amazing band. Nirvana was my childhood. Well, kind of. But I love Dave Grohl, and I'm really excited to pick up his memoir. I will probably already read this by the time that this video goes up because I have it on hold for Libby. So it will probably be one of my first reads of 2022. So I'm excited to listen to that. Then we have Credence by Penelope Douglas. I read a couple Penelope Douglases last year, and I really liked them. I know that that one's even more taboo than some of the others, so I want to see how it falls in my Penelope Douglas rankings that I've done. Then we have Flow by Kennedy Ryan. Really, I want to read the whole Grip trilogy, and I know you have to start with Flow, and then go to Grip, and then go to Still. I'm fully prepared to cry my eyeballs out. And so when I'm looking for a good cry, that will probably be a series that I pick up. But again, starting with Flow. Next is Nevermore. I love me a good middle grade. So, and I know that this series is some of people's favorites. And I know that I think the last book or the next book in the series comes out this year at some point, or maybe it's early next year. But I want to read that series, so that's coming up next. Or one that I want to read coming up next. I'm crazy. Who knows? Then we have From Luke Off with Love by Mariana Zapata. I love sports romances. I love slow burns. I love enemies to lovers. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this book. It might be a great book to read next month when the Olympics are happening because it's got, it's ice skating romance. So I'm really excited about that one. Then I have Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. I've heard a lot of people love the Stay a Spell series, and I've heard nothing but good things, and it just sounds amazing. His wolf is trapped in him, and he has to find a witch. Oh, it just sounds so good. So I'm really excited to read that one. Then we have The Bridge Kingdom, another fantasy romance. That is kind of, if I'm going to read fantasy, I usually read fantasy romance. So that's one that I definitely want to try. Then we have The Fox and the Hound by R.S. Gray. Pretty sure that's another sports romance that I've only heard really good things about, so I want to read that. Then we have Run, Posey, Run by Kate C. Wells. A lot of people have talked about this. It's a psychopath romance, and it's a psychopath romance. So that's really all I need to know. I love a good dark romance. Then we have, and the last book I want to read is My Darling Duke by Stacy Reed. Tori from Novel Life loves this book, and I've heard her rave about it, and I know her book club, the Cover to Cover book club, is reading the third book in the series for January. So, and I do kind of want to read that. I want to be part of her book club. So we'll see. I might end up, but I really do want to read this one too because it sounds really good. So yeah, those are the 22 books that I want to read in 2022. Let me know if you've read any of them. Let me know if you want to read any of them. Maybe we can do a buddy read. Let me know if there's anything else I should add to this list. Who knows? I mean, my goal for the year is 150, so 22 books should be pretty easy to do, but those are 22 that are at the top of the priority list. So, but let me know if there's anything else that you think I should read this year. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!